Okay. So, first thing to just remind you is course evaluations. I know I have been telling you for like the past few sessions. I realize the deadline is actually Sunday. So you have 2 more days to evaluate the course. And as I mentioned, this is mainly for you. So instructors, or your professors improve their teaching. So make sure to do that. Right now we have 1/4 of the class who did student evaluations. So if you can, it's appreciated. And also, I entered lab grades, and I was so excited that so early I entered all the lab grades on Vandal Web. So now students, if they have difficulties, they can see and tell me. And I realized you cannot see your grades on Vandal Web. So what I did, I wrote down the name of the students who didn't get an A. And I entered the grades on Canvas. So if you cannot see the grade on Canvas, it means you got an A. But if you can see your grade, and it's B, C, D, or F, and you have any questions, or you think it wasn't fair, or you have any questions, just email me. So I reach out to your TA and CC you, and then we see what was up. Okay? Most students, as I mentioned, they got an A because as long as they showed up to the lab and did the experiment, or like did some preparation, you got an A. Most of the students who got B's or C's, or like D's and F's, is because of unexcused absences. And I tried my best, and I several times mentioned that during the class and also in the lab, the first session I made sure to come to the lab and tell you that if you just don't show up, you get a 0. But you should email your lab TA and let them know, and you can have maximum 2 excused absences too. So even if you had 3 excused absences, 2 of them doesn't affect your grade, the third one would be, or was, 0. So make sure to check Canvas and let me know if you have any questions or concerns, because that might be an error from your TA, or you had your absence excused, but they didn't write them down. Okay, I just rely on what I heard from them. Any questions? Good? Okay, so I talked about evaluation, lab grades, and you are welcome to take your final early, basically Monday at this point, or today if you want to. Is there any questions?
What time on Monday?
So I posted that on course syllabus and schedule, and I'm just going to double check to don't say anything wrong. I meant to include that in, let me see, okay, I have that here. CHEM101 syllabus. I'm going to write that here. CHEM101, your final exam is Tuesday, and I don't have attendance as you saw for these lectures. I'm just going to talk about similar exams to your exam, similar problems to your exam. So feel free to just leave the class if you want to talk. So Tuesday, May 10th at 12:45 to 2:45 p.m. After this date, you cannot take the final exam. So make sure if you cannot show up at final exam, take it earlier. I don't mind. I have the final exam ready. You can just take it, And if you have like 2 exams on this day, or if it's inconvenient, if you want to leave the town, before that, I accommodate you, and I have been accommodating you. But after that, I just want to enter the grades immediately, and we cannot afford to have makeups. Questions? Yes?
How many questions is there down front?
50 questions, each 4 points. 50, and that is a great question. 50 questions, 50 equations, 50 questions, each 4 points. Your final would be out of 200 points. And the other thing is that when I was writing the homeworks, when I was designing them, I had one homework for this week. And I realized I shouldn't have had that. So I eliminated that and I distributed that to the previous homeworks. The last 4 homeworks should have been out of 25. But I forgot to do that. As a result, I added 20 points to all of them. And you saw that on Canvas. And I didn't put that as homework or something that you don't freak out, that you missed the homework. So I just put it like 20 points. And I gave all of you that points. So your final would be 50 questions, each 4 points. It would be 200 points. So make sure to study well for that, because those are so many questions. Yes?
Just to clarify, if we want to take it on Monday, just email you?
Yes, you can take it on Monday. Just email me and I set up a time for you to take it. But after the final, I cannot have you guys take it. Okay? Great question. Any other questions? We're good? Okay. So this class, what I'm going to do is talk about some questions similar to what you're going to see on the exam, and I focus on numerical questions. Because for the theoretical questions, you have the lectures, right? You can just refer to the PowerPoint slides. And for chapters 9 and 10, specifically chapter 9, I also included your book in the slides. So you have resources, but I know most of you, suffer from theoretical, numerical problems. Okay, I'm going to write each of the following compounds contain 10 grams of oxygen. And in parentheses, I write O, so you don't get confused with O2, okay? Which one is the heaviest? And heaviest meaning that if you have a scale in your lab and then you weigh them, which one is the heaviest, right? Which one has the highest mass, basically. And I tell you, Al HSO4 3, the other one would be FeO, the other one would be MgMnO4 2, and the last one would be CaCO3. Are we good with the question and what it is asking us? So what you do in this question, and if I can, apparently I can not use the, okay, now I can. Okay, if I minimize it, so each of them have 10 grams of oxygen. So what do you want to find? Mass of each of these compounds, right? You want to find grams of AlHSO4 3 or grams of FeO and so on. So you want to see how many grams of AlHSO4 3 you have, right? And what information are you given? Exactly, 10 grams of oxygen. Can anyone tell me how can I convert grams of a constituent element to grams of my compound? Mole. You do convert grams to moles by molar mass, and then you convert moles to moles by chemical formula. And if you learn this question, when you have chemical reactions, you do the same, but that mole-to-mole conversion would be the coefficients of a balanced chemical equation. Okay? But here you look at the chemical formula, and finally you convert moles of AlHSO4 3 to grams of AlHSO4 3. Are we good with writing this? Here, remember that you have grams of oxygen canceling out with grams of oxygen. You have moles of oxygen canceling out with moles of oxygen. And you have moles of your compound canceling with these moles. So you get grams. Next, you look at your periodic table. You see for oxygen, you have the atomic mass of 16. 1 mole of oxygen have this much of mass. So this is atomic mass unit. It can also be grams per mole, meaning that 1 mole of oxygen has that much of mass. What is the second ratio? Chemical, so-called chemical formula. What is that ratio? What is it? Exactly, 1 mole of your compound has 4 multiplied by 3, 12 moles of oxygen. Are we good with writing that? And now, how can I write the third ratio? You say AlHSO4 3 equals Al, you have just 1 of that, right? How many hydrogens do I have? 1 multiplied by 3.